Here we go. Live from the Kings County Distillery Studios in New York City, it's the Hospitality Hangout Podcast with the restaurant guy and the finance guy. We've got our whiskey on the rocks ready. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and we are loving it, drinking our Kings County Distillery. Look at that, Jimbo, huh?
Kings County.
We mixed that with a little Pepsi.
King me.
And we are ready to go. Ready to go.
I love that line, King me. That's like I heard of this thing called like something, Jack and something, but we got Kings County, King me.
I love it. I love it.
All right, listen, I want to more formally welcome you to the Hospitality Hangout, a hospitality-focused podcast where the founders of Branded Strategic share their insights and bring technology and innovation leaders that are making things happen in the industry we love. My name is, as you just mentioned, Jimmy Frischling, otherwise known as the finance guy. I'd like to introduce my partner, Mr. Michael Schatzberg, also known as the restaurant guy.
And thank you for that kind introduction, Jimmy. To all those listening, feel free to call me Shatsy. Together, we are the personalities behind Branded Strategic Hospitality. We work at the intersection of hospitality, technology, innovation, and capital. And we are super excited because we got an incredible show here right now, Jimbo. But before I jump into our show, Jimmy, I got to tell you, we've got an incredible thing to talk about, and it's labor. Labor is a big problem in restaurants today, isn't it?
Number top 1 or 2 answer on the Family Feud board of problems.
Everyone is talking about labor, and I got to tell you, there are definitely things out there that you can use to help solve it. It's Our Work, Jimmy. Our Work is a recruiting and employee retainment platform for restaurant operators. Our Work connects employers with hourly employers. Digital B2B hiring platform makes it easy for employers to easily hire and engage employees. Jimmy, do you know how many people are using it right now? 10,000 restaurants, Jimmy, 10,000. That's with a 1,000.
That's a big number.
Not a billion, but 1,000. That's a lot, right? Including half of all the McDonald's in the entire world.
Heard of them, Mickey D's.
5 million employees across the United States are using Our Work. Apparently, if you use Our Work, Jimmy, and I love it. I use it all the time. I use it at home. I used to schedule Jillian and the kids. That's how much I love Our Work. The whole family is using it to schedule. 30% improvement in retention, 2 times the applicant flow for hiring. So let me tell you, if everyone listening needs one thing, it's go to Our Work. OurWork.com.
I don't know if that jingle's going to catch on, but I got to tell you, I like it.
I love it. Jimmy, you got to check it out. And by the way, everyone knows that the average QSR employee's tenure is 75 days. And it costs over $1,500 to hire and train. But if you use Our Work, it increases that. It keeps the person there like from 75 days to like 75 years or something like that.
Might be a little off on that.
No, but I'm telling you, Jimmy, these are facts. It's like if you use Our Work, people will work for 75 years for you. So that's a really good thing. Anyway, we got a great show. I think I've worn out my welcome on the Our Work, and let's just jump right into it, Jimbo.
Yes, we are, and thank you, Shatsy. Listen, we're very excited for today's episode. Joining us is our friend and a second time performer on the podcast, Mr. Adam Golomb.
No, we very rarely get a second-time guest for obvious reasons.
Is there like a 5-timers jacket?
Actually, there is a 5-timers jacket.
Yes.
And no one's gotten the jacket. So I think we have to...
Did Sterling get it?
I think Sterling. I think we're going to create a 3-time jacket.
Yes.
A 3-time sweatshirt. How about 3-time sweatshirt?
Because usually after the second time, people usually never return our calls.
Yes, so let us get Adam involved here. He is the CEO of Primanti Bros. This is going to be a great episode. Adam, let's get you started. But... after that long intro, before we can let you get in, I got to quickly introduce Trivia Tuesday. Our podcasts are always released on Tuesdays. Guys, don't worry. This is about Adam. I'm going to give you 2 truths and a lie. I always feel like Joe Pesci. 2 truths and a lie. Shatsy, if you don't know how it works, 3 facts about Adam. 2 are true. 1 is false. You have to wait till the end of the episode to find out.
I love it. I'm the best at this game.
I did read this. I have to tell you, I think that things will be pretty hard. All right, fact 1. Adam holds the world record for the 10K run for 9-year-olds.
Wait, so, Adam, when he was 9, ran the 10K?
And set the world record, 10K for 9-year-olds. That's a bold statement, so bold, I have a hard time believing it's not true. But wait, fact 2. Adam rode a bicycle from Seattle to New Hampshire.
I got to tell you, I mean, I can't imagine that. That's why they invented the plane.
You couldn't ride your bicycle from our office home on the Upper East Side. Okay, fact 3. Adam has never received a speeding ticket. And I'm smiling because...
Of course, because he runs and he bikes. He doesn't drive a car.
I'm laughing because, Shatsy, you collect those things. All right. Fact one, Adam, 10K run for 9-year-olds world record. Fact two, bicycle drop ride from Seattle to New Hampshire. Fact three, Adam has never received a speeding ticket. You got to stick around to the end of the episode.
I so got this nailed. I'm so ready for this. I so have this.
All right, Adam, after all of that, and if you're still with us, yep, he's still here.
Still here.
Let you take the lead. Adam, thank you for letting us have that little banter and fun. Please give us a background about yourself and, of course, about the awesome Primantis.
Yeah, so, Primanti Brothers, 90-year-old this year. Pretty amazing for a restaurant chain to make it 90 years. Started in Pittsburgh in 1933. We've grown since then. We have 41 restaurants open today in 4 states. We have 4 under construction, so we'll be up 45 by the end of the year. We jokingly say almost famous, the brand is, but it's really, truly a famous brand. Really well known for this sandwich, which is your choice of meat, coleslaw, French fries, tomato, provolone cheese between 2 pieces of fresh baked Italian bread.
I love it. I love it. And I think it's super famous. It's famous in Pittsburgh, right?
Yeah. So we've been able to grow the brand outside of Pittsburgh, which is really a testament to the team here and the ability to push into Eastern PA and Maryland and West Virginia and Ohio. Really been exciting.
We got a lot to jump into. And before we take a deep dive, because Adam's been on the program before, yes. So we kind of know a lot about you already. But we're going to change up the question a little bit because last time you were on the podcast, this is very interesting. We don't have this many times. The last time you were on the podcast, on the road, you were the chief marketing officer. And you are now, Jimmy, the CEO. So I think what you're seeing here is that people start on the podcast.
They do the podcast.
And then
good things happen. I like how you basically just tried to add some sort of attribution to Adam's success. You're trying to take some credit for. I see what you're doing.
I got to tell you, I think we can make a definite correlation to Adam doing the podcast, people listening to the podcast and saying, this guy is so fantastic. He should be the CEO because it happened. Okay. It happened. So talk to me about this role in the CEO. So you're on the podcast, you're the CMO, everyone loves you, then you become the CEO. How's it going?
It's going well. I think there was
you're
a
welcome,
step
by the way. You're welcome.
Thank you. Yeah, I think there was a step in between. I became the president, took over operations and supply chain and marketing, and then in January became the CEO of the organization. So
I love it. Congratulations.
Kind of I would say I started eating these sandwiches like 40 years ago. So it's kind of a lifelong dream, and we're doing well. Out there making it happen on a daily basis, trying to take care of our fans and our players. Grow this great brand, but make sure we don't screw it up along the way.
Listen, I think it's great. And as you said in your intro, first, congrats again on the taking the helm of this great company. You've already shared you're celebrating the 90th anniversary of Primanti's this year. 90 years, that is truly an accomplishment. So my first question is, what are you doing to take a 90-year-old brand and just keep that momentum and make it, I don't want to say relevant. You are incredibly relevant. In fact, I actually, when he was giving me the places where they're opening, you know where he's not coming yet? He's going away from New York. We got to get him into New York.
He's trying to keep away from us, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Anyway, but there is something I think unique is what I would say about the brand. You actually mentioned that sandwich. When people think of you guys, they know that sandwich. It's unique. How do you make sure that this 90-year-old brand is staying as current, relevant, and as attractive as it's always been for 9 decades?
Yeah. First off, starts with making sure you know who you are and who you want to be and who you don't want to be. So I think that's the first thing. We stay true to the sandwich, but we've expanded the menu because we always jokingly say man and women can't have sandwich every day. So we have pizza, we have wings, salads, burgers. From a marketing standpoint, we use technology kind of behind the scenes, but we use technology to drive the business. We're a digital first company. The pandemic, and I think you guys said this best, took 5 years, happened in 5 weeks, and really pushed us to make some decisions and push technology.
Thank you for giving attribution to Jimmy on that one there, Adam. That was his line.
I quoted that right. Yeah. And then,
Jimmy. Jimmy's been talking about it for years now.
Yeah. Our team also, we jump into the conversations. They have a great time. We play a lot off the Pittsburgh because that's where we were founded. But we try to be relevant, try to connect, what's going on in the environment. We also have we try to take the restrictions out of doing what's right for the brand. I've worked I came from a very large organization to this one, and I used to call it the sales prevention departments. So there was all these people that woke up every day to tell you why you couldn't do your ideas. And eventually you didn't bring ideas forward anymore. And when I came here, it was like, okay, how do we make this a place where people can come up with ideas and you can implement them fast and, do it wrong quickly.
I love it.
Coming up with, we've got we've got two of the Watt brothers playing for the Steelers. And when JJ Watt was looking for a team, we said, hey, if you join the Pittsburgh Steelers, we'll change our name to Watt Brothers. We came up with that idea and pushed that out in about 30 minutes.
I love it. Yeah, no. If you were working for like a big corporation like you're talking about, it'd be 3 years, and you still probably
legal and HR and loss prevention and finance. You just go down. It's like we used to call them the sales prevention departments.
Right. Yep. No, it makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you. Listen, we love breaking news on the hospitality, and right now we have breaking news talking about Primanti's expansion. You were opening your first ever amusement park location at Pittsburgh's famous Kennywood Park. Jimmy loves Kennywood Park, loves the log flume over there.
And they got rid of the log jammer, so there's no more.
Well, Jimmy hasn't been there in quite a few years. It was 1956 when Jimmy was there. It was actually a log. It was actually Jimmy rode on a log.
Right.
But without a doubt, this is the perfect marriage of two iconic Pittsburgh brands. I mean, that park has been there for like 100 years. You guys are 100 years old. Can you share how operationally managed? I mean, is that a franchise, a license agreement? Are you running that whole store there? What's going on there?
We're going to run it. We are control freaks. So that's our first problem. At least we admit we have a problem.
No, that way you keep the food good.
You do. We operate 3 restaurants today in stadiums. We operate 1 inside an airport. So, we're used to doing things a little outside the norm. We've been working on this opportunity with Kennywood and their parent company, Palace Entertainment, who's based in Pittsburgh. And as we got deeper and deeper into it, it just felt right. It's their 125th year. It's our 90th year. So, we're in the process of remodeling an existing concession stand in the park. We had a small little bit of a fire inside it on Friday. So no setback, thank God. And no one injured, but the goal is to open by the end.
Is that from construction? Like, was that like where they were welding or something?
Yeah, painters left some rags that started smoking. So nothing like getting a call Friday afternoon that your building you're working on is on fire.
But it's not gonna. I mean, because right now you're going right into amusement park season in the next couple of weeks. Is that going to prevent opening?
No. The team's working on it. Goals to open by the end of May, and we're excited. I mean, the excitement from the Pittsburgh the Pittsburgh, we call them Yinzers in Pittsburgh. The excitement from the Yinzers. This is like a Yinsplosion of Kennywood and Primanti's coming together.
Yeah, well, like you said, it makes sense. I mean, over 100 years on both you guys, it makes perfect sense. And you usually go to the parks, and I got to tell you, not for nothing, the food's terrible. So having like you guys there with a great brand like that, I mean, that's just a natural. Yeah,
so people are excited. Our team internally, we're excited. I think it was a great internal boost to see that. But the community, we read a lot about it on social media. All the media in town picked it up when we announced it. So we're going to do a big thing at the end of the month when we launch. We're excited. The Kennywood team is super excited about it. So
you can send that invitation. It'll be Jimmy at brandedstrategic.com. And I will look forward to RSVPing to that paperless post and heading out to Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. Take the family. Sylvia will love it.
We haven't been out to Pittsburgh in a little while.
Yeah, but amusement park, it's beautiful.
The Jets aren't going to get us there, so we might as well get there another way. Listen, let's talk more about your tech stack. We just had Joe Donnelly from NRN, Nation's Restaurant News, on the cast. And we talked about the 2023 Market Leader Report. Okay, here's the biggest headline that I took away from that analysis, that report. 92% of operators, Shatsy, said they will likely invest in technology over the next 12 months. 92%. You know what grade that is in high school? I know you don't. You've never seen such a grade.
I've never seen such a grade.
Anyway, what is your, Adam, what is your strategy in adding new tech? Are you the best in breed camp? Are you in the all-in-one solution? Is it somewhere in the middle? What is your strategy on adding new tech?
So best in breed. We have a pretty complex tech stack because of that. I think Times team wants to kill me. we'll listen to any pitch and look at any tech and try to understand where it fits in the life cycle. Does it help us drive sales? Does it help make our fans' lives easier? Does it help make our teams' lives easier? Does it help drop money to the bottom line? Integration super important. We're NCR Aloha, so it has to integrate into that if it's needs data out of it. And then can it integrate into each other's systems is really important from us. We don't build. We're buy guys. SaaS is ideal from that standpoint.
How much tech do you have there, do you think? How many tech companies are you working with, would you say?
I would say north of 25.
Wow.
Oh.
Yeah, we talked about it.
20 to 40 is the number. Actually, 25 is actually reasonably disciplined relative to some of the friends we have in the market.
When you look at these all-in-one solutions, they're not good at everything. They're just not. I mean,
they're very light.
Yeah,
one thing they do really well, and then the other things they do okay, and maybe good enough. But you guys are growing to 45 units. You need the best in everything.
Yeah, I look at somebody like Ola who does our online ordering. I mean, those guys wake up every day and that's all they think about is online ordering.
Yes.
And innovation in that space versus somebody that's going to
they're killing it. They're killing it.
Yeah,
that's very interesting. That's awesome.
This segment is sponsored by Noah personally.
Yes, 100%.
Thanks, Noah.
I know Noah back in the day. So,
another thing we've been talking. I mean, tech is super important, but I love talking about LTOs. I mean, the limited time offers is something that I think is really important for brands as they grow, because you want to continue to innovate in the culinary side to make sure that you're giving your guests always something new and interesting, keeping with your core products, but it is fun to bring in different LTOs from time to time. We had James O'Reilly from Smoky Bones, Jimmy. He was talking, which is great. He was talking about the Twizzle Faux Shizzle candy cocktail they're doing over there.
So glad that was for you to say. I couldn't say that 10 times.
I had a hard time. Wade Allen over at Chili's, game day LTOs. I mean, so they were always doing a lot over there. Very important. So at Primanti, what are you guys doing? What's the newest special that you guys are working on? Are you doing LTOs? And if so, what are you doing over there that's really unique and cool?
Anything cool? We're doing LTOs. Every 6 to 8 weeks, we put a new cycle through. We were doing monthly, and I think our operators wanted to kill us, so we slowed it down.
Monthly could be a little too much, right?
Monthly was a little challenging for supply chain and operations, but we've got a hot honey.
So what's the new LTO you're doing now?
Hot honey is the new LTO right now.
Hot
honey? We got a hot honey burger. We got hot honey wings, a hot honey loaded fries. It is a spicy honey. It is.
By the way, you know what's very popular right now?
Hot honey.
Honey.
I love honey.
I'm going long honey on back of that piece of information.
I'm loving honey.
Yeah.
I think it's great. I want to jump in, Adam. As many of our operators, and you kind of highlighted this earlier, during the pandemic, you guys uniquely really embraced it. And Primanti, you added 3 virtual brands to help drive revenue at a time where essentially, obviously, in-store dining was shuttered. Okay, you have 18th Street Pizza, Wingnut, and Get Loaded. All concepts, as you highlighted earlier, that not only diversify your offering, but are now top-selling items at your joints: pizza, wings, and fries. Can you give us a little mini State of the Union on how these virtual brands are doing? Has the demand continued to grow, or do you see virtual, is it getting stagnant? Is it remaining hot? Tell us about what you're seeing with those brands.
Yeah, I think the consumer really took on to these virtual brands. The challenge we're running against is the third-party delivery companies. They're really pushing back on the virtual brand. And, I'm not large enough to go tell DoorDash, what, with themselves. I think larger brands. You can say
anything you want on this, by the way. This is not a family show.
Go dance. He said go dance with yourself.
Oh, okay.
Go dance.
No, I think that's the issue, is that the third-party delivery companies have turned into a pay-per-play marketplace. And they don't want virtual brands on there. That's great and all, but those were sales we need. So unless they're going to figure out how to get the sales back.
I tell you, I remember a time working with Uber way back when, and they were pushing for the virtual brand.
They were selling virtual brands.
But they were selling virtual brands.
Now they're like,
they're virtual brand.
They're virtual.
Yeah, so what you've done is you've taken, that was their play. They're
go figure a restaurant company could come up with a better virtual brand than a
a third-party delivery company. Yeah, But at the end of the day, I mean, why do they care? I mean, they're picking up something from your restaurant, they're bringing it to someone else, they're getting their fees.
I mean, I get the whole transparency, but I think they're going to have 1 quarter of bad sales. Uber and DoorDash, the street's going to annihilate them. And then they'll be back to being best friends with everybody.
Because a lot of the like right now, I think guests were completely oblivious to the idea that when they were ordering online,
drivers were oblivious. They would show up and be like, "Hey, I'm here for get loaded."
18th Street Pizza, and this doesn't look like 18th Street Pizza.
Drivers
were a little confused. Yeah, but I know that consumers had no idea, and I think when you hear about something coming from not the restaurant that you thought, like it's somewhere else, it gets a little weird to people. I think they have a hard time with that.
I think there was some questionable operators in the space.
Well, some people were making soup in their bathtub in their apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not what you want to know, right? You don't want that.
Is that frowned upon?
I don't think that. Yeah, I think it is frowned upon. That definitely, like if someone's making your pizza in their own, like they're buying like DiGiorno's or something. And you're going to their apartment, picking it up, they're bringing it. Yeah, that's not good. I don't think.
I don't know if that was a positive or a negative on DiGiorno. I think it was a positive. If we could basically buy DiGiorno's, heat it in my oven, and then ship it as delivery. God bless DiGiorno's.
Yeah, no, but it is definitely. I think consumers are very confused about the whole thing about virtual brands too.
I think that's where it was the issue, and I think the whole pricing and they were great. Our operations team did an amazing job operating them. I jokingly say we read about Chili's, I think at 8 a.m. that they came up with their wing concept. And it was going to be $150. And by 1 o'clock, we had our own brand up and running. I remember. I think we spoke to Wade Allen over bringing Chili's launched like in 1,500 locations, like in a day or something. Yeah. So we did similar.
Yeah.
Imagine that. You tell myself that 3.5 years ago that we were going to come up with this brand and launch it in 12 hours. I've been like, you're crazy.
So is your virtual brands, are you still all in on it, or is the pushback from the third parties affecting that, or can you handle it within your own white label, delivery platform yourself?
I think ultimately the challenge is you've got to spend so much money with the third parties right now to get to the rankings, to get to the top, that it's becoming a little tenuous from an ROI standpoint.
Prohibitive.
So people can't even find it if they don't really know it.
I mean, it's becoming, you got to spend money to get in the rankings. And then you're paying them commission on top of that. So it's not
pay to play and then pay to deliver. It's a lot of pay.
It's not like Google. It's not like Google paid per click. I'm not paying Google on top of that another, or Facebook. I don't pay them another north of 20%.
Right, to find them. Listen, Adam, when we started the podcast, I admit Shatz and I love bringing on guests and friends and chatting. We learned along the way that sometimes our guests have a question or two for us. So we created Talking Back. We offer our guests the chance to ask us a question or two. As I like to say, Shatz is bringing us some music. This is our question music. I like it.
Yeah.
Maybe? All right, it's for this episode. All right, Adam, the microphone is yours. Nothing's off the table. What do you got for us?
What are you guys seeing in kind of, AI, robotics? We've been looking at it, haven't been able to figure it out yet. Like, where are you guys seeing like the world?
I love the question.
No, it's a great question.
Definitely for the restaurant guy.
Yeah, no, I bet Jimmy, you know enough about this as well. But for us, I think when people think about AI and automation, I think there's a lot of confusion, and they throw words around, and they all have different meanings to different people. I think that the artificial intelligence idea, everyone doesn't realize they're already using artificial intelligence in so much of their restaurant now. So much of your scheduling, so much of your procurement, so much of the work that you're doing, the software you're using is already using that, the artificial intelligence. When I think about robotics, I think a lot of people immediately go to Rosie from the Jetsons. And I think, we'll get there one day. And I think we talked about it like last week or something, a couple weeks ago, where, if you saw a car plant, an automotive plant being built today, you're not going to see as many people as you would have back in the 50s and the 60s and even the 70s. They were replaced by robotics. So I think Automation is something I think is maybe easier to wrap your head around. Self-pouring beverage, for example, is automation that I think is very low-hanging fruit and easy to adopt and bring in. Whereas I think robotics, like literally somebody, an arm flipping hamburgers like the Flippy or the Chippy or the Sippy that Miso has been doing, it's great stuff. I think it's awesome. However, I think that retrofitting a restaurant for some of the robotics that are there could be very challenging. So I think it's definitely, you're going to see a lot more automation, artificial intelligence with your forecasting and data and things like that. So it's here, it's coming. Even the whole chat GPT that came out, I mean, you're just going to see a lot more automation. I think the robotic side is going to be, it's going to happen. It's just going to take a little bit more time to get there.
Shats, I liked your answer. I really have very little more to offer. The only thing I will comment on is, as you highlighted, I think AI is already being deployed and being used. We're seeing in the back of house where we're watching companies now using cameras and AI to ensure that orders are being completed accurately. That's a company.
Right.
Right.
Yep,
We're involved
good
with.
point.
And we're also watching.
Yep, out of Pittsburgh. Carnegie Mellon.
Yeah. And we're also watching these kiosks. You know, the famous expression, again, I think it's somewhat derogatory, but it's not. I don't mean it that way. But there's always that attempt by the cashier to upsell with, you want fries with that.
Yes.
I actually think, we're watching quick serve restaurants utilize kiosks more. And I think the AI and the understanding what goes with what, it's way beyond want fries with that.
But at least it's automatic.
And it's automatic.
It's automatic.
So I think that's
a great point.
So I think those
kiosks. I mean, the kiosks are essentially it's automation. You're saying I'm not going to have a human do it. You know, you can go there, and there's proof now, a lot of proof that your basket size is far greater with a kiosk. That people love the pictures and the upselling is there. And I mean, you know, you weren't going to get a brownie or a chocolate chip cookie, but you will when you see a picture of it. You're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to get that brownie. So I think that's what I think about automation. That's what I think about AI. You know, so I think it's there and coming and continuing to grow.
Agreed.
Yeah, at the NRA show last year, I found one of those like flippy robots, and talking to the guy, and I was like, "Well, how much is it?" He's like, "The robot's $25,000." I was like, "Great, we'll take 40 of them." And he's like, "Well, you need this, you need that, you need this, you need that, you need this piece, that piece, the stand." Well, all of a sudden, it's $150,000. It's like, well, we're not going to take 40, you know.
Yeah, no, it's not there yet. But you know what? No. It's great to see that there's money being deployed, there's R&D going into it, because it's going to happen and it's going to be great. And you know, in years to come, we're going to see it, and you're going to have it, and the cost will come down, and it's going to be awesome. So I love it. You know, so we are going to see it. Listen, we got to jump into a great segment right now. You're talking about the famous food service feud, right? This season of the Hangout, we're bringing you the Food Service Feud Celebrity Edition. It's no secret that many celebrities, Adam, Jimmy included, they got their start at some point in the restaurant business. I mean, a lot of celebrities started as bartenders or waiters or what have you. And there was a manager who saw them and saw something in them before they were famous and said, hey, you got to come work here. You know what I mean? So we asked over 100 million people on LinkedIn. Adam, we do a poll every Tuesday on LinkedIn. So we asked the real people out there, you, the listener.
No way.
No chat the real people.
No chat GPT.
Yes.
No chat GPT. The real people get asked these questions.
Real chatty.
And here's what we did, okay? Adam, Jimmy, are you ready for a little food service feud?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to give you some help here, though, because it's tricky. All right, here comes the question. Which Pittsburgh-born celebrity worked at the Carnegie Deli in Pittsburgh before starting his acting career? Is it Joe Manganiello, Dennis Miller, Michael Keaton, or Jeff Goldblum?
I'll go Bing.
Go.
You know, I got Batman on my mind, the new Flash. I'm going Michael Keaton.
That is incorrect. Adam, do you care to guess?
I'm going to go with Jeff Goldblum.
Ding, ding, ding. It is Jeff Goldblum, the Fly, right?
The Fly.
The Fly. Yes, he worked at the Carnegie Deli in Pittsburgh before starting his acting career.
Jurassic Park.
So, Right, Jurassic Park.
I think that might even be bigger than The Fly.
Much bigger.
Yeah.
For a couple of them.
Hey, little known story, which I should have put in my 2 truths and a lie. I went to high school with Joe Manganiello. And he was not ripped. He was not as big as he is today.
Now, wait, is he married to
Sofia Vergara?
Yeah, Sofia Vergara.
Yeah, we sent Joe. Joe hits us up every Steelers season. We sent Primanti Brothers out to him, and last year we sent it to him, and he had a bunch of former Steelers there, and he posted on Instagram about it. And the guy's got like 3 million followers, which is not too shabby. Well, Sophia posted about it. She's got like 35 million.
Oh, come on. I mean, have you seen her lately? I mean, come on. I mean, Joe's a nice guy and all, but Sofia, boom, come on.
Yeah.
By the way, Joe, that was Shatsy who just did the va. I didn't say a word, Joe. We'd love to hang with you. Please visit us in the Kings County studio someday. Big fan, love you. Shatsy was the one that said the va.
Va, boom.
Not me.
Well, I always liked her on that show.
He brought Sophia to Primanti's when they were dating to see if she would pass the test.
And
she passed the test.
She passed the test. She's posting to her 35 million followers.
I love it. I love it. Jimbo, you know what we got right now.
I love it. We're going back to 2 truths and a lie. 2 truths and a lie. All right, at the top of the show, I told you, we got 3 facts about Adam. 2 are true, 1's a lie. All right, recap. Fact 1, Adam holds the world record for the 10K run for 9-year-olds. Fact 2, Adam rode a bicycle from Seattle to New Hampshire. That's a big distance. Fact 3, Adam has never received a speeding ticket. Shatsy, do you care to guess?
Yeah, I got to tell you something. I've seen Adam. I've met Adam. And I got to tell you, he looks like when he was 9, the guy was unbelievably quick. You could just tell.
Quick.
Very fast. You could tell he was fast. So, yes, he has the world record for 10K run for 9-year-olds. It's the world record in Pittsburgh. But nonetheless, it's the world record. He also, yes, he did ride a bicycle from Seattle, New Hampshire. He did that. Yes, he did. A speeding ticket? No, he has never received a speeding ticket. Adam does not like cars.
So wait, so you're saying all 3 are true?
No, 1 and 2 are true.
Oh, so you're saying he did not ride the bicycle?
Wait a minute, I confused myself. He did ride the bicycle. He's never received a speeding ticket.
So you're going with he never received a speeding ticket?
Never received a speeding ticket.
So the one that is probably most likely you're saying is not true. Adam, you got to fill this in here. I think Shatsy plays this game really well, but I'm going to be shocked if he got it right.
He got it right. Winner, chicken
dinner. Come on, man. Yeah. You gotta know. I know.
You know.
He was a CMO, man. These chief marketing officers, they love the bicycles.
They love the bicycle?
Yeah, I knew it.
Yeah. I was believing the bicycle. I thought the giveaway was if you told me it was a Pittsburgh record, if you told me it was an East Coast record, if you told me it was an American record, you're going world record. But all right, Adam, the microphone.
Tell us about the 10K run 9-year-olds.
So 9 years old, my dad and I are running the Great Race, which is this famous, I think it's been running for 45 years. And he put my bib on him and I put his bib on me. And my dad was a great runner at the time. And about 3 or 4 weeks later, we get a call from the U.S. track and field that I had broken this record. And they said the time, and my dad said, that was my bib, not his. So, fast forward 25, 30 years later, a good friend of mine's working at Nike and he's reading about world records in their track and field department. And he's like, they still have you down as the 9-year-old 10K world record holder.
By the way, I think that might be the best single story we have about a truth.
I love it.
I think that's the best
story. But I still want to know one more thing. Why in the world would anybody ride a bicycle from Seattle, New Hampshire?
Because it's a good question. It was a great trip. Great way to see the country. I knocked out states.
Cars are also windows.
Airplanes. Trains.
But airplanes, you don't see them. But a car, less exhausting, I would think, no?
I know.
When did you do that? Was that recent or was this
senior year of high school? No, senior year of high school. So
awesome. Absolutely incredible. And I got to tell you, my true or false is really unbelievable. I
think you're undefeated.
Great job.
I am unbelievable. I am unbelievable. All right, let's get into the branded quickfire right now. It is a phenomenal segment. Adam, I'm going to ask you 5 lightning round questions. Don't think too hard. Just whatever comes to your mind, I just want you to jump out with, okay? Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Favorite sandwich?
Pastrami, Primanti's.
Where are you getting dinner from tonight?
Cooking tonight. from the fridge.
What's your favorite food city in the world?
I'd go with Providence, Rhode Island, where I went to undergrad college. That kind of Providence Newport market is unbelievable.
That is definitely the first Providence, Rhode Island we got.
Shout out to Providence.
Yeah,
That's a first.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Favorite place to travel?
I'm going to go with Hawaii. I've only been there once, but my wife and I went there for our honeymoon, and it was unbelievable. Love to go back.
Yeah, me too. Hawaii is good for honeymoon, and I got to tell you, it's a good honeymoon place. If you were to challenge Jimmy Rye to a game of beer pong, who do you have better odds of beating?
I'm going to go with Jimmy because Shatsy looks like he's played some beer pong in his day.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You know what? I got to tell you, I respect the answer. I think our producer was giving me, she was trying to give me a layup today, and yet Adam was like, no, I'm still beating you, Jimmy. I think Shatsy is going to be tougher.
Didn't even think about it. Really? Adam went right in there.
I played a lot of beer pong in college, maybe too much.
Right.
People say they
much.
played Division I sports. I say I played Division III beer pong.
Hey, by the way, I bumped into a tool out at Food on Demand.
Yep.
He still hasn't forgotten about the challenge.
Yeah, you guys.
I thought he'd forgotten. I want to duck that. He's like a Division I tennis paddleball.
Yeah.
He's a racket guy. I keep ducking him. He's like,
What,
I didn't forget.
Pickleball you agreed
We
to
agreed
play?
to pickleball.
Yeah,
I thought he'd forget. He didn't forget. All right,
Jimmy,
Adam, you and I
that.
will play beer pong. And Atul, I want to admit now, I'm forfeiting the bet. I can't beat you. Can't play it. Don't want to. I don't want a rematch. I don't even want a first match. Okay, listen, Adam, we want to thank you so much for joining us on the podcast and sharing all your great insights. We appreciate what you and the team at Primanti's are doing for the hospitality industry. And again, leaning into tech. And really looking for best in breed. And we appreciate you sharing that color with us and our listeners. For our listeners, if you want to get in touch with Adam directly, you can email the podcast team at podcast@brandedstrategic.com. We'll be happy to make that introduction. We're not rookies. We don't make that intro.
No cell phones.
No cell phones. No direct. You call us. We'll get you in touch with Adam. And it goes without saying, to our listeners, we want to thank you so much for tuning in. Our numbers and subscribers continue to grow exponentially, and we couldn't be doing this without you. So please join us next time as we welcome Sharif Mitias, CEO of Bricks Holdings.
That's like Friendlies and stuff. They got a lot of restaurants.
It's going to be super exciting to have Sharif on the call. We're very excited about that. And we also want to give a shout out to our sponsor, Our Work. Chico's Bail Bonds has been retired. Our Work, you stepped in, sponsoring the episode.
What's their URL, Jimmy?
What do you think? It's
OurWork.com.
OurWork.com. We appreciate you, Our Work. And if you ever want to embrace Shatsy's jingle, we'll give it to you for 10% of royalties. And finally, if you haven't done so already, please sign up for our podcast. You don't miss out on any of the exciting guests we have coming up in the future. Adam, a big thank you to you and your whole team. This is Jimmy Frischling, your finance guy, signing off and passing it back to my boy.
And this is Shatsy, a.k.a. the restaurant guy, signing off. Hey, Adam, before we go, if I want to order a sandwich, where do I go? Primanti.com?
PrimantiBros.com, or we're part of the Gold Belly. Yeah,
Nice.
we're part of the Gold Belly family also.
Or you can go to Gold Belly and they'll ship you like a whole case of sandwiches to your house.
Yep.
Right? It's just a couple $1,000 in shipping costs, but I got to tell you, it's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's worth it.
It's
So
worth
go
it.
check it
You're
out.
getting that,
They got 41
craving.
stores, opening another 4 or 5 stores. It's awesome. It's awesome. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, guys. Thanks, Adam.